When we speak about AB 32, let's not forget SB 375. They go hand in hand. And folks, as I said, AB 32 has nothing to do with global warming. AB 32 has something to do with vehicles, miles traveled. I make a living selling gas. Do I want to see you drive your cars less? No. The more you drive, the happier I am. Should I say more? My other location, we were shut down for 5 weeks, thanks to AB 32 and SB 3275. It's another way to put small businesses out of business.
Okay, the next question has to do with the short-term and long-term debt of the state of California. How does California get out of this crisis? We'll do 90 seconds. Etta, you're first.
You know, Andy, I will always take it back to jobs and businesses. We have to become business friendly again in California. Last year, 47,000 businesses left the state of California to go to other states to run their business. Look at all the tax revenue that has left our state. We have to become business friendly again. We have to cut our taxes and cut our regulations that are hurting our economy. That's how we fix future budgets and budgets right now, is to bring businesses back to California and to keep the ones that are here from leaving our state.
Yeah.
The problem with California is not that they don't get enough money. They don't have a revenue problem. The bottom line is they spend too much money. We have to stop the spending. If you hemorrhage someplace, that's what you do. You stop it there. We have to decrease the interest costs for one. When we borrow as much money, our credit rating goes down, and we have to spend more money on for the interest that we borrow on funds like that. We have to stop. We all have to stop passing bonds. The word bond starts with B. The B stands for the word bad. So when you vote for something, you see bond, don't pass it. We as citizens are to blame for that. So we have to stop doing that. Again, we need to stop the spending and reduce the cost, and that will then balance our budget. And we, instead of leaving that to our children to pay off, we should be spending our own. We should be spending or paying for what we use now. We have an unfunded pension liability. I'll talk about that later. Right now in the state of California, $60 billion unfunded. These are promises made. And by the way, in the county of California, in the county of San Luis Obispo, we have a $250 million unfunded pension liability, which the supervisor has been voting on for many years. So these are the things we have to change. We also have an unfunded retirement medical expense benefit, which has been given to the state employees of $61 billion. These have to be wrapped up.
Thank you. It is true that the county has $250 million unfunded liability, but on the other hand, we have $750 million in assets for the same funding. When you borrow money to pay your debts, regardless if it's short-term or long-term, that's what's called deficit. I know what debt is all about. That's how I started my businesses. That's how I got to where I am. You work harder when you need to. You spend less when you need to. As a business person, I've gone through that. As a gas station owner, I've survived 2 gas shortages. Some of you remember that. What did it take? Fiscal responsibility. When time was tough, we got tougher. We offered more services. We were more competitive. That's what we need in California. We need to generate revenues. Revenues are generated by being business-friendly decision makers, not scaring them out of state. Nearby states are laughing at us. Nearby states giving them incentive to move to them. When the businesses move out of California, what happens? Our property values go down. When our property values go down, so does property taxes, which also impacts our schools and health. When the business have left town, the jobs go with them. We don't have folks working. We don't have folks generating payroll taxes. They're not making money. They're not spending money. They're not generating sales taxes. Those are the revenues we need to bring back, not necessarily reaching in your pocket further to get more taxes out of hardworking taxpaying Californians.
Fred.
Thank you. One of the committees I sit on is Revenue and Taxation, on which I represent every city in San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, and Ventura counties. And so I've dealt with this in a lot of different ways. I was a county chairman for Prop 13. I mentioned that before. But the Commission on 21st Century Economy is making recommendations on how to tax you. They want to get rid of the sales tax and put in what they call the BRT, business receipts tax. Don't go for it. It will cost you more, and you won't even know you're being taxed because it'll be in your bill. We have to cut expenses. And the issue of retirement, that's a big one. And you will hear them crying for more money. We have to cover our retirement, right? They've lost 25% out of their retirement funds. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you look at PERS and STIRS, which are the two big state retirement funds, after losing 25%, what do they have in their fund right now? $250 billion. The total payroll of the state of California is only $16 billion a year, and they have $250 billion currently in their investment funds, and they're crying. Something is wrong, and we have to pay attention and do something about it. So yes, I will fight those changes. I will fight high taxes, and I will fight to see that we only take as much money as we need. And that means we have to cut expenses, and we have to cut them big time. But I'm also proposing that we make it illegal for people to be paid to collect signatures for initiatives. Stop selling our state government. Stop letting big money buy it.
Don't go over, Fred.
Thank you.
All right, next question, 60 seconds. In Prop 13 or Prop 218?
There's some things that are not negotiable. One of them, the property tax issues of Prop 13 to 18 are non-negotiable. What they're trying to do in Sacramento right now is they're trying to split property taxes, the business side and the residential side. No way.
Okay, Concho.
As I said earlier, if we mess up with Prop 13, there goes my investment. And let me assure you that 3 different separate times, I have brought some facts too if you care to see. On July 15th, on February 8th, on February 23rd, I have voted against any changes in our taxation. And that's another reason that Andrea Borchert, Executive Director of California Republican Taxpayers Association, is supporting me. Where I've spoken about taxes that has taken a different role here, about local user taxes, that's the sales tax. If a local city wants to raise your sales tax by 2% for 3 years and tell you exactly where it's not going, it's required 65%. If the same city wanted to raise the same amount of tax for the same amount of years and tell you exactly where it's going to go, now it's required 65%. That's where I disagreed. I said that's upside down and lower to 55%. Of course, if you're running against me, you want to capitalize on that, as you heard it earlier today. Thank you.
Fred.